Hey guys, and welcome to episode 2 of my Master of PVM series. So if you're unfamiliar with this series, just know that I'm going for all the boss pets, all the boss drops, and eventually final boss and insane final boss. For the boss drops requirement, I'm not including like the really dumb bosses like Mole, KBD, KQ, because their rare drops really aren't that interesting. I do have to do them for the boss pets though, obviously, but I'm just putting that out there so you guys don't ask way down the road, where's the mole drops? And so it has been about a month since my last episode, and I really didn't think it was really that long since the that episode, but I guess it did take a month to get this done, but I did do a lot of PVMing this episode. I feel like I did a lot more than the first installment. And hopefully you guys enjoy this episode. Let's go straight into the bosses. Now to kick things off, in the background I am doing some Virago, and in some of the clips I'm going to be doing the base tank role, and that is a big change that has happened in this episode rather than the first one. So in these 40 kills or whatever that I did of Virago, I started to learn more roles for Virago. I started to actually try harder on Virago, and I feel like I've gotten a little bit better. So the main difference is I've learned the base tank role a little bit, at least on the scop rotation and team split. Now, I am definitely not the best base. On the clips, I'm really bad, I would say. But yeah, it's just nice to know that I can finally do a roll at Virago. Now, if you remember in my first episode, we had no luck at Virago in like 50 kills or something like that. And we were really hoping we could get something, at least something in this episode. So that did come true. We got a singularity in like, I think 32 kills. And I believe that's at like kill number 80. So I don't have a clip for that. It's just a picture. It's Zombie, or better known as EGA. Right-clicking it, he got the singularity. Now, the reason I don't have the clip is because for some reason the announcements did not pop up when he got the singularity. It was kind of funny because we were already in the next kill before we even realized that he got it. Because what happened is that he said he had to go like right during the 5th phase. So we finished the kill, and come to find out, he actually did get the singularity, but for some reason it just did not show on the announcements. I believe that there must have been a server lag right when it happened. Sometimes it misses the announcements, but yeah, it was really funny. We were in the next kill, we were on phase 1, and he just hops back right into the call, and he's like, you know, I got a singularity, right? And then we were all kind of freaking out, and I didn't believe him at first. You know, I did not believe him at all. So he posted the Gyazo, and it turns out it was like a 23.2 mil split, and here I am selling it. So that was really awesome. We finally got something at Virago, and I can say that I am not 100% dry. And then we finished up a few more kills of Virago, and then we were done. After Virago, here we are at Saradomin. So I actually did the Saradomin a little bit after the first episode, but you guys should know what happened here. If you watched my 30 hours of Sara video, I was extremely lucky. So this is 30 hours of Saradomin. I had like 1,600 something kills or something like that. And I got so many drops. I'm not going to go through all of them just because there were at least like 38. Just know that I got 2 hilts, which is okay. Not the best, because the drop rate's like 1 in 500 or something like that. And I, got 2 in 1,600. So if I got one more, that would have been awesome. But, I got 12 Armadillo crossbows. That's crazy. They're like 1.7 mil each or something like that. And getting 12 of them is ridiculous. Now, I also got a lot of effigies as well. I think I got like 8 effigies just from Saradomin, so that will definitely increase my effigy count for this series. And not to mention, I got tons of strength experience here. I'm at 1,600 kills, so I'm pretty close to the 2nd threshold, but I did not get the pet in the 1,600. So my plan is I'm going to do like another 400 to reach the 2,000 to hit the next threshold. And then from there, I'm going to be doing a lot of hard mode Sara, so I can really get a better chance of getting the pet, because after 2 thresholds, the chance of getting the pet on the normal version is about 1 in 1,600 or something like that. And on hard mode 2nd threshold, that's like 1 in 333. So it's definitely better to do it on the hard mode. And maybe I can make a little loot video out of the hard mode as well. But enough about Sara. Moving on to the next one, which was Rise of the Six. So if you do watch my mini series that I'm doing on Rats right now for all the shields, you guys would know what I got in here. But to break it down for you, I got 2 merciless kite shields in like 50 something kills, something like that. And I feel like that's extremely lucky. So that puts me up to like 4 shields. And I cannot be any happier, because that's like 4 shields and 250. I feel like that's pretty awesome. So Rise of the Six, I don't really full-heartedly enjoy this boss. I mean, it's really hard to find teams, especially when a lot of people don't want to do Rots and they just want to do Virago or other types of bosses. But I'm like at the point where it's like halfway done with the 500, and by the time I'm at 500, I feel like I will have all the shields, so I'll be pretty much done with Rots and I'll probably never come back. Moving on to the final boss, here is Nex. So this is a brand new boss for the series, and we started this pretty late into the episode, I feel like, and holy crap, this is my favorite boss now. For sure, Nex is probably the most enjoyable PVMing that I can do right now, and I don't know why. It's just so interesting, and it's pretty lax, but at the same time, you can really go hard on it and really speed up your kills. Now, I'm not the best Nexer, so obviously you're going to see on screen I am not the best, but slowly I'm getting better at PVM all around, but it just takes time. So basically we were doing Nex trios for pretty much every single kill, and what we're doing is we have like a perm team with 4 people. So if one person is gone, we do have a full team. So I'm Hastings and JJ Wrecker usually are the tanks. Sometimes we're tanks every now and then, but for the most part I think Hastings, which his name is Mike, I'll just call him Mike, is the tank for most of the kills here. And yeah, I'm pretty much DPS the entire time. So about half of the kills I was doing Void with range and mage, and then the other half after I got superior I started doing melee and range, which I really enjoy the melee and range. I seem to get a lot more kills and I seem to get better XP drops. So next, obviously this is going to be one of the longest bosses in the series. Maybe Corp might be a little bit longer, but Nex has a ton of drops, and I do have to get the pet as well, so I will be here a long time, but I really love Nex, so I don't really mind. And for drops, we were extremely unlucky. So to start off, it took us 29 kills, which is pretty average, to get our first drop, which turned out to be a Torva plate body, which is actually one of the best ones you can get at Nex, and that's pretty much a 9 mil split for a 3-man team. And just know that every time we get a drop, I pay out the splits with my liquid money, and that way I can keep it in the tab without selling the item, and I can have a really awesome tab. But when it's in the tab, I only own 1/3 of it technically. So the Torva plate body is basically 28 mil, so I paid out about 18.6 to my teammates, and I just kept the Torva plate body. So to do a lot of Nex, I'm going to need a lot of expendable cash, liquid money, and that will mainly come from maybe a Raxor or Virago. Now, here is where we went extremely dry. So it took us like 85 kills to get another drop. Now, the drop rate at Nex is pretty common, I would say. It's like 1 in 28 if you wear a Ring of Wealth, and that's actually pretty common if you think about it. And we were pretty much like 3 times the drop rate. Now, that's not the most dry thing ever, but it was really demoralizing going 85 dry that early on. We're at like 100 something kills with like 1 drop. It was really bad, but we finally got the drop on kill 114, which turned out to be a Torva full helm. Now looking at that, that is about a 3.8 mil split on a 3-man team, and that actually went to me, so that was kind of cool. And then we did like another 20 something kills or something like that, I don't really remember, and with nothing. So we're at like 130 something kills with 2 drops. Now that's pretty dry, I would say. It's not the worst that's ever happened. Like if you look at my KK, I'm still 225 dry as of this series right now. So it's kind of sad, but it's good that at least we're getting good drops at Nex, if anything. I think we talked enough about the bosses. Let's go into the actual slides and see where we stand. So the first one we talked about was Virago, and that is at 89 kills. And we are at 1 singularity. So that's pretty nice. We are 1/4 done with Virago, which is kind of a dumb thing to say because the Vitalis on the bottom right, I'm never going to get that. It's 1 in 5,000 for a specific drop, and then 1 in 1,000 per kill technically. And I rarely get any drops. I mean, I get a lot of drops when I base because I'm not good at it. But when I DPS, I rarely get drops. So yeah, I'm not going to get a Vitalis anytime soon. And come on, Jagex, I really want that wand. After that, we were at Saradomin. And look at that, 1641 kills. That's ridiculous in one episode. That's like 30, I think that's actually like 32 hours. I did 30 hours for the video, but I believe I did like 2 extra later on. Now look at how many drops I have. I have 7 of each amulet and then 1 more of the Whisper, which is crazy. And then 12 Armacibles. That's absolutely unheard of. My drop rate is like 1 in like 130 or something like that if I'm doing the math correct. But the hilts are definitely slacking. Maybe we'll get more later on. But from the looks of it, I will definitely get a lot more kills of Saradomin. I'm probably not going to get the pet anytime soon unless I do like hard mode religiously. But I don't really feel that I'm going to do a lot of hard mode like after like 100 kills doing a video out of it. After that, we talked about Rise of the Six, and I'm roughly at 250 chests. Malevolent Energy is like 350, and I of course added 2 Merciless Shields. So all we need is the Malevolent. Hopefully we can get that pretty soon. And to finish up the episode in terms of drops, we went to Nex, and I got 131 kills, and we got 2 Torva items, which is kind of cool. So I actually did not have to use 2 different slides. So what I'm going to do for Nex is I'm going to have a Torva slide, I'm going to have a Virtus slide, I'm going to have a Pernix slide, and if I don't have the room to fit the weapons on any screen, I'm just going to have an entire thing dedicated to weapons. So I'll for sure have 3 slides for Nex, like individual slides, but maybe 4 depending. Next, here are the stats of the series, and first things first, look at that, we're at 2,500 kills roughly, 1 off of that, and I think the first episode we're only at like 600, so most of it's coming from the Saradomin, of course, and holy shit, we increased 55 hours this episode, and if you remember the first episode I was at 50, so it seems like an average of like 50 per episode, and I feel like I can maybe keep that rate, and when I have a lot more free time, starting maybe in the summer or spring break, I'll definitely get these episodes out faster rather than a month. I know it might be a long wait, but either way, I hope you guys are enjoying the series anyways. Drop a like if you are. But other than that, we're at 9 effigies, and then charms are pretty decent. Most of them are from KK if you're wondering. And yep, 15 million strength. That pretty much dwarfs all of the other combat experiences. But those will pick up with like Araxor and Arma and things like that. And finally, here are the pets. So I did change it a little bit. I changed the background. It kind of looks better. I didn't really like the bluish look. And if you did like the bluish look a little bit better, I'm sorry. But I feel like it's better here because you can see the contrast of the gray background and the pets. And if you're wondering, the gray background is basically just a zoomed in KBD layer. I don't know, it kind of worked. But yeah, when I actually get the pet, they're going to be full vibrancy, full opacity, so you'll definitely be able to see which ones I have. But of course, right now I have none. Now let's go into the price check and see where I stand in terms of the tab. Alrighty, here we are at the Max Guild, and let's go into the tab. So I did change a few things. As you can see, I have all of the regular drops in this tab. And just know a lot of these items I have to split with people. So like any of the KK items, I have to give 3/4 of the KK loot away. And then I have all of the next loot here. I already split it per kill. But I do have all the cash from the series. So 35 mil of it is coming straight from Virago. And that's from the Singularity split. So you guys need to know that my Virago and my Araxor loot, whenever I do Araxor, is going to be liquid. So every time I get a Virago drop like a wand or an orb, I'm going to sell it right away and get the split, so it's beneficial for me, so I can use that money to buy supplies and everything like that. Same thing with Araxor legs. So if I get like a full leg at Araxor, I will sell that, and there you go, I'll have a lot of expendable money. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty awesome. I have a lot of loot here, guys, and I did price check what I have made here. So I'm not going to do like a total price check on screen. I'll do it like my last episode. I'll just say what I made in terms of profit from the last episode. So like, let's say I started with 16 mil on Raga last episode and I'm up to 50. I would say I made 34 mil. But yeah, everything is looking really nice in here. I cannot wait to see where it is, 10 episodes down the road. So as you can see, I have my God Wars items, of course, like my Saradomin stuff. I got my Rot Shields, and I also have my offhand Drygor from the last episode at KK. And I also have the Torva Full Helm and the Torva Plate Body. So it's looking pretty nice. This tab will probably stretch down to like half the bank by the time I have everything. Especially all the next items are going to fill the screen like crazy. So that's it for the bank, but let's see what I have made in this episode. So the first boss we did was Virago, and it turns out I made 31 mil in profit this episode. That is not that bad. And then after that, I did some Saradomin, and that netted me about 90 mil in terms of loot. Further in the episode, I did Rise of the Six, and that made me 30 mil. And finally, the Nex got me 36 mil worth of my split. So all in all, guys, if you add all of that together, this means this episode I got 187 mil in loot. So if you remember the last episode, I had 166 mil in loot, so that means I did do better this episode. And if you put those together, I'm at roughly 353 million GP from just 2 episodes of this series. So that is pretty crazy. It's not even going to be that far until we hit a bill, especially with all the next I'm going to be doing and any of the Virago luck in the future. So guys, I hope you are enjoying this series so far. And I know these episodes are pretty long, but I hope that you can maybe just watch them while you do a skill or something and help you pass the time. But anyways, guys, I'll see you in another episode of this series in maybe 3 weeks. I'm hoping maybe 2 or 3 weeks if I can really get it done. I have spring break coming up in 2 weeks. and that'll definitely help me with doing this series. But yeah, guys, I'll see you in the next video, whatever it is. Have a good day.